Hi everyone. In a world where influence often chases attention, Samantha Chetty is redefining it with purpose. As Mrs. India SA 2012, a Mrs. Supranational 2026 finalist, and mental health advocate, she's using her voice to inspire healing, empowerment, and real social impact. Today we dive into her journey, her mission, and how she's turning influence into meaningful change. How are you, Samantha?
Hi, Siddharth, and good evening, everybody that's on the live stream. Really, really great to be here.
Likewise. All right, I'm just waiting for my questions to load. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. So, Samantha, to get the ball rolling with you, your message "Together We Heal" is powerful. What personal experiences shaped this mission and gave it such deep meaning?
I'm going to take a deep breath with this question because, in order to understand why the campaign Together to Heal and how I gave birth to that campaign, I have to tell you a little bit of my story, Siddharth, and I hope you can give me that
Oh,
space here, and the people listening can give me that space here as well. I was very lucky in my life to be born in a spiritual family. And part of that has invoked in me some really great values in my life around human values through the teachings of Sri Sati Sai Baba. And those are human values such as love, peace, right conduct, non-violence. And also on that journey of spirituality, I've learned along the way, there's two quotes that have carried me in all my life facets, which is love all and serve all, and help ever and hurt never. And if I look at my life, I mean, it's 48 years that I've been on this earth, right? I'm giving away my age. But in this long life that I've lived, I have faced many adversities and many adversities that every single individual human being face on this earth and continue to face on a daily basis. And it's these human values that have carried me through all of them and allowed me to deal with them in the most graceful way possible. So when we look at all of us facing adversities, change is also the only constant, right? Our lives are ever
mm,
changing, the world is ever changing. And 2 or 3 years ago, with all these adversities I faced, I thought I was superwoman and I could, conquer the world. But little did I realize that even us as human beings, even us as strong women or men or youth get weak sometimes because sometimes life worries us a little, right? We are
mm,
human, we have emotions. And 2 or 3 years ago, I was challenged with my mental health because of all of these life adversities and some of the choices that I had made that either worked for me or didn't work for me. And I almost lost my life in the process. Okay.
oh,
And I see it daily. I mean, if you look at the stats about mental health,
mm,
there's every 40 seconds, somebody is losing their lives due to mental health
wow.
challenges. Every 40 seconds. And
Sure.
as I dive in the detail of mental health and also educate myself around mental health, I have it is scary because I even didn't know that the stats were this crazy. And it's a global issue, right? Every home is challenged with it, every society is challenged with it, every country is challenged with it. So, from a personal experience where I almost lost my life, I realized that it was my spirituality that kept me grounded. It was my family members who supported me that brought me back to Sam. It was all the professional help that I got, which previously I really didn't, want to have that from the medication point of view or support from a point of view. But all of that holistically helped me make my way back to Sam, which is me, which is speaking to you and everybody on this call today. And I realized very quickly after I got well is that what better way to turn pain into power than tell my story? Because number one, mental health has a big stigma attached to it. A lot of people don't speak about it because they're
Yeah.
worried about what people will say, how people will
Mm.
judge them. I mean, I've been judged by people that I thought were close to me, people that I never thought would judge me. So I want to use my voice, firstly, to remind people you're not alone, to love yourself, to know there's getting help is not a weakness, but actually a sign of strength. To look after your mental health is a birthright, right? So you shouldn't be, if it's challenged, you shouldn't be scared about it. To use my voice to make people aware in all spaces, whether in our homes, whether at schools, whether in the corporate environment, whether in a spiritual organization, that we are all human beings first. Before we have any titles in this world, we are all human beings first. So Together We Heal was born exactly with that in mind, together, that we all are interrelated with each other and interconnected. And we can only change this dynamic. We can only change the view of how mental health awareness is seen. We can only diminish the stigma attached to this if we allow our voices to speak out together, if we create safe spaces together, if we see each other within each other or a bit of ourselves in each other. And we cannot do this alone. I cannot do this alone. Communities cannot do this alone. So together we are so much more powerful. And my voice is just one voice. But if I can have the backing of people that are part of my world, imagine my voice then becoming our voice. And that's what gave birth to the campaign Together We Heal.
Awesome. That's beautiful. As a Mrs. Supranational 2026 finalist, how are you using the pageant platform to go beyond beauty and drive real social impact?
Yeah, I mean, it is an amazing platform, firstly, with beauty with a purpose. And that's what attracted me because I realized that it is my responsibility. I know it's everyone's responsibility, but it's my responsibility to use this platform, Beauty with a Purpose, to start my advocacy. It's a long journey, it's a big vision, it's a big mission. But I've started using this platform to, as I said, give birth to my advocacy campaign called Together We Heal. I'm using it in every space that I am in. For instance, all the platforms that I am to share knowledge on. I've started with sharing knowledge about mental health awareness to start getting that out there, because in social media today, as you know, that's the first place youth look at, youth
Mm.
engage with. So just starting to create the awareness and the information and the knowledge around that. That's the first start, and that will continue. The second start, I've used this platform, which has also helped me to, reach sponsors. And as you know, mental health is holistic. So I've also started to engage, because your mental health and your physical health is attached to each other. I've started
Mm.
engaging with in fitness, and I've
Oh.
just partnered with a fitness edge, which is a sponsor that shows how fitness, being physically fit, impacts your mental health. And I wouldn't have actually seized that sponsorship and that collaboration without Mrs. Supranational's platform and strong vision and mission that aligns with mine. I've just recently attended the Forbes Women in Leadership Conference through Mr. Supranational as well,
Wow.
where I was able to meet so many women, strong women, all advocating for different things: gender-based violence, um, uh, child trafficking, substance abuse, as well as mental health awareness. There's so much happening out there. There are many more platforms other than Mrs. Supranational as well. But for me, I feel that it aligned with me, my mission, my vision, my purpose. And I plan to use this platform to amplify my voice. amplify my advocacy, amplify the wave for mental health awareness to be created, and amplify the need for all of us to remove the stigma attached to mental health awareness.
Awesome. You bridge boardrooms and communities. How do you balance corporate influence with grassroots mental health advocacy?
Sure, there's a direct correlation with those things. It's twofold, right? There's lots of corporates. Well, I'm busy with this strategy and planning on how I enter those. But in
Oh,
boardrooms that I did sit, or companies that I did sit, there's a lot of companies that already have strong cultures, strong values. One of the things for me is living those, right? It's no point having values on the wall. It's one of those things, living them. So
mm,
I loved them, and I also challenged them at certain times, when senior management didn't, step up to that. But what I want to do going forward is work together with corporates to make sure that their wellness programs and their culture is tied to values. How they performance manage their staff is tied to behaviors according to those values, so that everybody at all levels can live up to them. Mental health awareness is important. So making sure that their wellness programs don't just happen once a quarter. How do they make it a way of life? So partner with them so that we can co-create something, that becomes more a way of life rather than just happens once in a quarter. Work with communities to make sure they build these programs as well, mental health awareness programs between women, between children, between men, on a constant basis, on a monthly basis, have these workshops to empower women, to empower men, to empower youth, not just have it as a tick in the box once in a while. Work with schools to build these programs into the curriculum. I have this huge vision, this huge mission, but it has to start somewhere. So I feel
yeah.
like, my voice is getting amplified using Mrs Supranational platform. My voice is getting amplified. It's a journey. It's a start. And every little step I do every day through Mrs Supranational, I have no doubt about it, that it's going to definitely reach boardrooms, reach schools, reach more spaces. But I think the most important thing, as I mentioned now, is to co-create with everybody in every space, so that together we can feel like it's, something we both want to do, rather than just put something together and slam dunk it to a corporate or to to a community or to a school. I'd rather want to work together with them, partner with them, see what they have, see how we can refresh it, or see how we can build on it. Or if they don't have these mental health awareness programs, how we can co-create it together.
That's true. Mental health advocacy is at the core of your work. What are the most urgent issues you believe society is still not addressing enough?
Yeah, I think courageous conversations. I feel that as much as there's so much of work being done by so many beautiful communities, so many beautiful men and women, so many organizations, I feel we're still not having the right conversations. We're not
Mm,
creating the safe spaces, whether it's in our homes, whether it's in our communities, whether it's in our corporate environments. We have to create these safe spaces for individuals facing any adversities, any challenges, any mental health challenges as well, to be able to feel free, to feel comfortable, to feel that there's a trusted source. And I feel like a lot of people, like I said, because there is such a big stigma attached to mental health awareness, which I've also experienced in my own, in my own life's way. Like, and when I was challenged with my mental, you don't want to go to someone, or you're too scared to go to someone because you're not sure whether how people are going to see you, how people are going to judge you. And I feel, like I said, the more we make it a way of life, the more courageous conversations we have, the more safe spaces And I mean this, right? The more safe spaces we create in our homes, in our communities, in every environment that we are, to support people having these conversations, to have open door policies, to not victimize people, to not judge people. I think that's what needs to happen. We definitely need, uh, as individuals, and also not to turn a blind eye when we see someone struggling. That's another thing.
Mm.
As leaders, and I don't mean just leaders in the corporate, I mean leaders in our own right. As parents, we are leaders. In our communities, we are leaders. In the workplace, we have leaders. As a big sister, you could be a leader. So when we see somebody struggling, you take 10 steps towards them rather than 10 steps back. Don't turn a blind eye. I think it's a combination of having these conversations, creating the safe spaces, becoming aware, but also it's important for me to not just educate people that are suffering from mental health awareness. Mental health challenges. It's also important for me to create the education around people understanding how to identify with people having mental health challenges. Because if you can also identify someone not being okay, the signs of mental health challenges, you can also be able to help and support them.
So I think it's more about having that empathy within you to actually do that, because the person could give the education, but if they don't have that empathy, then it may never come across, if that makes sense.
Absolutely spot on. And I think that is the most important thing. As parents, I won't even say parents, I'll say as human beings. That's why I
Mm.
always say we are human beings first before any single title. As human beings, we born with these human values. We born with
Mm.
love. We born with trust, respect, right conduct, non-violence. We're born with all of this. It's inherent in us. But the world
Mm.
that we live in and the world
Yeah.
experiences that we have either bring it out or they actually suppress it. And empathy comes out of love. So
Mm.
we all have it in us to be this way. But to your point, and to the point I'm trying to make is, it gets suppressed depending on
Mm.
what adversities we face.
That's so true. Your work focuses on collective empowerment. What does true empowerment look like in today's world, especially for women?
You, that's a big question. And empowerment is also a very, very big word. I think for me, empowerment is around, and I always see it as holistic. Firstly first and foremost, you need to be able to empower yourself before you can think about anything else in the world. You need to empower yourself. And by that, I mean, I was like, and I had to learn that also the hard way, right?
Oh.
I was very good and very quick around helping others, empowering others, teaching others, being there for each other, and being there for others. But I forgot about me along the way. And this is my message to all also listening. You have to be able to empower yourself first before you empower
Yeah.
others. Feed into yourself. So firstly, it starts with you. What do
Mm.
I need as a person to be the best version of myself? And when I can empower myself, then I'm able to live by example and empower everyone else. For me, empowerment also means empowering everybody in my world. How do I impact everybody in my world? How do I leave everybody better than I found them? How do I uplift the men in my life, the women in my life, the youth in my life, the friends in my life, the colleagues in my family. So everybody in my world. So for me, collective empowerment is exactly that. It's not about, yes, it is about me first, but after I've looked after me, how do I take everybody as well in the space of my world? And I know I said together we heal. And this is why I say that is so important, because if everybody listening, even on the call, can empower themselves and empower everybody who is part of their world, right? Their family, their communities, their country. That's the only way we're going to change, and bring about change and change the legacy and change the dynamics. Yeah, so that's what collective empowerment means for me, and also in the new era.
Awesome. From social impact executive to spiritual leadership roles, how has spirituality influenced your leadership and decision making?
I would say it has been the core. Uh, for
Wow.
me, it's been the core. I mean, I was really blessed to have many, many spiritual leadership roles as well, in serving in the Satya Sai organization. I truly believe it has really molded me in being a servant leader. And there's many different types of leadership in this world. The one that I choose is servant leadership, because if you can't serve others, what's the point? If you can't make leaders of others, what's the point? And I feel it's been really critical. It's been my blueprint, to love all, serve all, and help ever, hurt never. I've done it in all the roles that I've played, whether in my spiritual sphere or even in the corporate environment. I've always seen a human in a human before I saw them as what race they are, what caste they are, what gender they are. So my spirituality has played a really, 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 really important uh, part of my life. It's also played a really important part in my life is how I show up as a leader.
Mm.
How gracefully I handle leadership challenges as well, how I handle people, because people matter in your organization. You can have the most amazing strategy, but if you don't have people, you can't take that strategy to life, right?
Yeah.
And then also, if you're not humble, and like you said, if you don't have empathy as a leader, how can you feel for your people? You know, how can you empower them both from a personal perspective as well as a professional perspective? So I feel my spirituality and my leadership go hand in hand, and it has molded me into being this leader. And in every role that I play, where it makes me a leader, it's always spirituality first. It always comes back and aligns to treating people as human beings rather than just a number. And I feel it's the way I'm wired, and I think it's the way I'm always going to be wired.
That's really profound. For brands looking to partner with purpose, what does a meaningful collaboration with you actually look like in action?
As I said, I mean,
Mhm.
uh, mental health awareness is a growing challenge, right, across the world. Even within corporates, even within spaces, we lose lives in family, we lose lives every day. In corporate, people, I mean, companies across the world. I mean, the latest stats is they lose like billion, $1 billion in productivity a year. They lose
Wow.
good staff. There's so much of things. So what it would look like to partner with me would to co-create something that ties directly into your CSI or ESD space within your organization. Either if you already have a program, how do we enhance it? How do we keep it alive? How do we grow it? And then if you don't have a program, how do we co-create something? How do you partner with me, to grow that within your organization? But also partner with me who's somebody that that has heart and soul for people, somebody who has lived the experience. So when you speak to people, you connect heart to heart with them. Somebody to be your voice. So for me, what it would look like is, like I said, creating and co-creating something. And it would be different from each different partner, right? Each different community, each different organization, because organizational culture also differs from one organization to another. So a partnership really means exactly that. How do we use this opportunity together to partner, to co-create, to enhance, to keep alive this mental health awareness? And how do we go on this journey together to make your people matter? And that's what it would look with me if you co-create with me. And then also make sure that you amplify what you're doing within your organizations, and that by amplifying that, we save lives as well as change lives.
You've achieved both national and international recognition. What key lessons had you learned about building a global impact presence?
Well, I think I'm getting the internet. I'm getting there internationally. I'm gonna cross
Oh,
fingers. I think I have obviously got there nationally with Mrs. India SA, and also now with the exposure that Mrs. Supranational has given me. But it's not easy. It's not
mm,
easy. Like I said, the stigma still lives on, right? With mental health awareness, it's not easy. And your voice has to be louder than your cause. You know, you have to. I learned along the way through many other organizations that I served is that you've got to fall in love with the problem, right? And we have to fall in love with the fact that mental health awareness has the stigma is not lifted from there, you know. And speaking to people, engaging with people, even though I have such a solid campaign, such a, like you said, such a meaningful campaign, such a worthy cause, which is a global challenge, the stigma attached to it is still there. And that's going to be, we only going to change that, as I said, if we start having the courageous conversations, if we start amplifying our voices, if we create the safe spaces. So that is still a challenge because um, as I engage with people, with communities, even with sponsorship partners, it's a space, as much as it's a very needed space, it's not prioritized in the company. Yes, they have CSI budgets, and yes, they have ESG budgets, but it doesn't seem to be a matter of urgency. And I think I need that. I need help. I need support. And even my little voice, I need to keep it amplified that it needs to come on the top of the list when it comes to CSR and ESG because people matter. It's your birthright. Mental health awareness is starting to, like I said, lose 40, every 40 seconds, we're losing somebody. Companies are losing $1.1 billion a year in productivity. So why is it at the bottom and the tail end of your strategy for your human resource strategy or your organizational development strategy? Why can't we bring it right on the top? Because people matter. We are people at the end of the day. So that is still a challenge that it needs to be brought to the top of the table rather than an afterthought.
yeah, I guess the problem is that we're living in a very capitalistic world, so we need to find that fine balance between people and money. If I'm,
Yep,
if I'm, yeah,
absolutely.
okay,
Absolutely.
awesome. What challenges have you faced in advocating for mental health in corporate or public spaces, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I mean, I have faced many challenges, if I may say so, um, because obviously it's a new campaign that's just started now in February, so it's just the second month of the campaign.
Okay,
Uh, I've actually got a lot of positivity because people say, "Wow, Sam, it's an amazing thing that you're doing." Yes, a lot of people, are going through a lot of challenges people don't talk about, and especially if you look at the stats previously, it was always women, youth, and then men. Now the dynamics have shifted where it's men, youth, and women that are challenged. And if you read the papers, I mean, look at the post every week, there's somebody committing suicide or killing their partner or parents taking their children's lives. It's crazy, right? It's absolutely crazy. So I've got a lot of positive feedback on my advocacy. Even when I send my proposals out, I get a lot of feedback. Sam, you have such an amazing proposal. You have such an amazing cause. But again, to my point to you earlier, like I just mentioned, it's not a priority. It's not a priority when it needs to be made a priority. And in every sense of the word, across the board, within community spaces, with like churches or temples, or in homes, or in schools, or in corporate environments. It needs to be brought on the top of the priority list because we're talking about people. Stats are just not numbers. Behind those stats, they are people.
beautiful. All right, after my final question to you, I will then get to the comment questions. All right. Looking ahead to 2026 and beyond, what legacy do you want to leave through your advocacy, leadership, and influence?
Well, the legacy I want to leave is the one of um, love, impact, and purpose by setting the example, living that example. It's very simple. It's really, really simple. It's even on all my platforms. Everybody, if you have seen my platforms, really say it's creating a legacy of love, impact, and purpose. Because for me, there is only one religion, the religion of love, right? There's only one language, the language of the heart. And what's the point of living a life if you don't live it purposefully, right? Doing something meaningful. And also, what's the purpose of having a purpose if you're not impacting every life that comes in your world? You have to create positive impact. And every little simple thing, I think we underestimate how amazing every simple little step is, how amazing every voice is, you know, and what power exists when we put all of that energy, whether it's voices, whether it's actions together. And that's why the campaign Together We Heal, it is so powerful, when we do that. Um, yeah.
Wow. On that beautiful note, I shall get to the comment questions. Okay, the opening one here is from Jitin Rishika. Hi, Samantha. You are beautiful and strong. What is your advice to future divas who wants to walk the ramp and shaping them for the future world?
Thank you for that question and thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate it. I think for me, stay true to your authentic self. Walking the ramp is just one thing, but walking it with your authentic self, being who you are, being true to who you are, and being purposeful in why you are walking that ramp. That's really important. And believe in yourself. Don't let anyone dim your light. Don't let anyone tell you you can't walk that ramp because you can. So the first thing is to love yourself, believe in yourself, and know your why. Know why you are right. Why are you walking that ramp? And when you know your why, nothing and no one can stop you.
Awesome. All right, there's a comment. This is just a supportive comment. I don't know if that's a heart or a hug. This is from 68 Chloe Reddy. I don't know if you know this one.
Yes, that's my niece. Thank you,
Oh, sweet.
Chloe.
Cute. Okay, the next one is again from Chloe Reddy. Again, this is from Well Said Sis. Together we stand stronger. Okay. All right. And this is from Yogita Prasad Sugrim 606455. Love you, my beautiful sister. You are such an inspiration to our family and myself. So, so proud of you, sis.
Thank you, sirs.
Okay, there's Priya with the four hearts. Priya Chetty,
That's
four
also
hearts.
my sister.
Ah, what a beautiful family. Okay, all right. This one is
I
well
do
said,
have a
sis.
beautiful family.
Awesome. Okay, and then, oh, I don't know what this one means here. I've clearly already. Fingers dash red dash number one. I don't know. Maybe I was just trying to do an emoji there. Okay. All right. Yeah, it is. This is interesting. This is from Priyan Chetty 17R. Shoot out to my beautiful mama. My question is how this campaign breaks generational curses.
Well, that's a very good question, my baby. So it breaks generational curses when you stand for the right thing, even when you're the only one standing no for it, no matter how difficult it is, no matter what adversities you face, no matter how you judged. If you are standing for the right thing, and you are leading by example, and you face them your adversities gracefully, that's how you break generational curses.
Okay, and the last one here is this is from Natasha Hamunene, 20252. Inspired by our head of ops. Love it, Sam.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Oh, sorry. This comment is from Natasha
Yes.
Hamunene 2052. Okay. Inspired by our head of ops. Love it, Sam.
Thank you, Nat.
Oh, sorry. I do apologize. There's one more comment. This is again from Chloe Rudy. It's Anne, my sister. What is your advice for the younger girls coming after you?
What's the right advice for the younger girls coming after me?
Yeah,
The
what is
first
your
thing, as I
advice?
said,
Yeah.
what my
Okay.
advice is, I think, as I said
Yeah.
earlier, if you were listening from the beginning, but I'll repeat now, is the first thing is to love yourself first, before
Okay.
you can love others. To empower yourself first before you can empower others, and to believe in yourself. And everything you need to be successful in this world, you have everything right within you. So don't let anyone dim your light. And you take responsibility for your life and make better choices.
Awesome. Okay, so I think I've touched on all that. So before we wrap off, Samantha, how can everyone support you on your RAIN journey and with your advocacy for mental health awareness?
There's a few ways everyone can support me. But the first way you can support me is obviously following me on all my platforms, being Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, sharing my posts so that it gets broader, especially around mental health awareness, so that it reaches as many lives as it possibly can. You never know, one post could change any life, because I know how some inspirational posts or knowledge sharing posts have changed mine. So that's the first thing. Okay. The second thing is you can vote for me on the Imperial Votes platform or the Mrs Supranational platform to be your public choice. Because I always believe and I always say, if you have followed me, your vote is my voice. Your vote is your voice. Your vote is my voice, and my voice becomes our voice in, in the journey of removing the stigma. So please vote for me. And just to say that if I am voted public choice, that also gets me a direct placement in the top 8, which is a leaping chance of actually winning the title of Mrs Supranational SA, which actually gives me the right to then go internationally to the international pageant that happens in Myanmar in August. You can buy tickets for the actual grand finale, which happens at the Vodacom World. So you can contact me for those tickets as well. So you can be there and support me and support the journey, and also all the one other wonderful women on this journey with me. And then you can also collaborate with me through sponsorship and partnership, because as you know, there's different KPIs for walking the ramp, and one of it is securing sponsorships for my advocacy campaign called Together We Heal. So you can reach out to me and partner with me, and I'm happy to share my sponsorship proposal, and we can see how we can partner on this journey. And remember, if you do sponsor me, I would then obviously market you, your brand, on all my social media platforms, and you'll be able to get coverage both nationally and internationally as well. Should I win, or I'm going to say when I win, let's put it out there, I also take you with me to Myanmar. So if you can help me and partner with me amplify my advocacy, I can also help you partner with you and amplify your brand.
Awesome. All I gotta say, Samantha, is thanks so much for your time, and I hope to catch up with you once again in the future, and best of luck.
Yeah, and Siddharth, I want to say thank you for reaching out to me. Thank you for this opportunity. And thank you to everybody that took the time to come on this live channel. I really appreciate it. And I hope and pray that you support me also on this journey and getting the word out there so we can remove the stigma, and together we all can heal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Siddharth.